Once upon a time, a man walked across the African plains with his wife. The man carried his spear and a bow and arrow across his back. The woman had a baby tied across her back. As they walked, the husband turned to his wife and he said, "Wife, I'm hungry. You have the ability to turn yourself into a leopardess. Put down the baby, transform yourself, chase down that herd of bush cows. Catch one bush calf for me, bring it back, change yourself back into a woman, skin it, clean it, cook it, prepare it the way I like it, and feed me." The woman said, "But husband, are you not a hunter? Do you not have your spear? Do you not have your bow and your arrow?" And he said, "I am your husband. If I tell you to turn yourself into a leopardess, you will. If I tell you to chase down that herd of bush cow, you will. If I tell you to bring back a bush calf, skin it, cook it, prepare it, and serve it to me, you will, because I am your husband." The woman said, "Are you sure you know what you're asking?" And he said, "Yes, I do, and do as you are told." So the woman untied the baby and set him on the ground. That woman, her eyes became the eyes of a leopard. That woman, her teeth became the teeth of a leopard, and her hands became the paws of a leopard, and her back became the back of a leopard, and her skin became the fur of a leopard, and her heart became the heart of a leopard. And she looked at her husband and she said, "Roar!" And that man was so afraid, he ran to the nearest tree and up into the branches, and he clung on for dear life. That woman, that leopard woman, she turned and she ran across the plains, chasing down that herd of bush cow. She turned the herd this way and she turned the herd that way. She chased until she fell upon the youngest of the bush calf with the tenderest meat. She fell upon its throat, she tore its throat open, she brought the bush calf back to where the baby was laying. And that woman, that leopard woman, her fur became the skin of a woman, and her back became the back of a woman, and her paws became the hands of a woman, and her teeth became the teeth of a woman, and her eyes became the eyes of a woman, and her heart became the heart of a woman. And that woman, she skinned that bush calf, she cleaned the bush calf, she built a fire, she pushed a stick through the bush calf's body, she made a spit, she turned and she roasted, and she turned and she roasted, and she turned and she roasted the meat. And when that meat was cooked to a turn, she cut some of the meat and prepared it the way her husband liked it. She looked up at the tree and she said, "Husband, come down. Here is your meat." And he said, he refused to come down from the tree. "Husband," she said, "here's your meat. Come, eat." But he refused to leave that tree. At that moment, the baby began to cry. The woman lifted the baby, she dropped her blouse, she latched the baby to her breast, and it was then and only then that her husband recognized her. He came down from the top of that tree, he grabbed the piece of meat his wife had prepared for him, he went to one side, and watching his wife, he ate and he ate and he ate. When he was satisfied that his wife was back to her true self, he said, "Woman, put out the fire, gather the meat, wrap it, put the baby on your back. We must leave." "Of course, husband," she said. She put out the fire, she gathered the meat, she wrapped it in its own skin, she put the baby on her back, she tied it tight, and before they left she said, "Husband, there's something I must say. Remember, my name is woman, and I am capable of anything you ask of me. So in future, be careful what you ask."